All right. So what I'm gonna do now is I need to basically make my wrist. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a hand actually, and then attach it to the wrist because it's a little bit easier because everything's at an angle here, and also it just sucks. So that's what I'm gonna do. So basically, what I need to do is create a cylinder. I want my cylinder to be an 8-sided cylinder, like so. So you click on this, you get 8-sided cylinder. If you don't get one, what you do is just drag this puppy out. Go to the channel box, go underneath the inputs here. See, it can't. Okay, and just make sure the subdivision axis is 8. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate this. I'm gonna hold J for increment. Boop. Okay. And I am gonna go ahead and go to edges, and I'm gonna delete the diagonal ones, the ones that are not going up and down. And on this side, I'm going to hold Tab to turn to Paint Select. Boop, and delete. Okay. And the wrist is generally kind of like that. Okay. And there's the thing. All right. Now what I'm going to need is, actually, let's undo that for a second. And I'm going to Control D, duplicate, pull this one out. All right. So this one will be the wrist. But what I also need to do is create some left fingers. Okay. So I'm going to go to edges, actually. This one, this one, this one, and this one. So these outside ones. And I'm just going to scale them out a little bit so it's a nice flatter kind of shape. All right. So this will be my finger. I'm going to scale this down. And then we'll get to it. Alright, so I'm going to go to vertex. I'm going to take this puppy. I'm going to do a top view here. Hit F to frame. And I'm just going to pull this out. I'm not really worried about scale. You can see this is way too big. I can scale it as a whole later on. Generally speaking, if you look at your finger, it gets a little bit thinner as it gets to the end. So I'm going to go ahead and scale this a little bit thinner, like so. Now, the other thing you're going to notice is this, that the finger itself, let's go to faces. So I can right click, drag like so, or if you just right click and pull down or up or left or right, you can get your different things. Okay, so I'm going to go this one, and I'm just going to go ahead and actually I'll grab the bottom one too. I'm just going to scale a little bit wider, so it's more like that. And I'll go back to object mode and we'll scale this a little bit thinner. A little bit more like that. Go with these, and it's a little bit more round towards the end and a little bit flatter, or on the proximal end, a little flatter on the distal end. Okay, I'm going to grab this and I'll just pull this out a little bit to make it round, and then I'll grab this one, and this one, and this one, and we will pull that in a little bit so it's a little more like a rounded shape. Alright, now I got to cut this into the basic joint, so boom, boom. So I use my multi-cut tool, whoop, and we'll go boom, and we'll go boom. Alright, now looking at this, this is way too earlier on, so I'm going to go ahead and use my slide edge tool. So mesh tools, slide edge, and I'm going to pull this up. Oh, okay, don't mind me. Pull this up this way, like so. And I'm going to take this, oops, thank you. I'll take this one and pull this up a little bit more. And we'll go a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to hit R to scale. I want to make this flat. Boom. Take this one and flatten that as well. Alright. Yay, that looks pretty like something. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click this one. And I will double click this one. And I'm going to go ahead and use bevel. And instead of splitting it to 2, I will split it into 3. So I get the 3 that I need for each section. And they're relatively even. And that's all great. I'm going to use my multi-cut tool. Whoop, this one, and I'm just going to add another one in here, roughly about the same width as these. Okay, I'm going to grab this one, and hit W, and I'll pull it up. What that's going to do is it's going to create kind of the knuckle on the top and that crevice underneath, which is great. I'm also going to go ahead and scale a little bit wider. Alright, so usually it's a little bit wider around there. Okay, I'm going to take this now, and this, and this, and this. I'm going to hit B for soft select, like so, and I'm hit like this, because generally what you'll notice is if you look at kind of the contour of your finger, it's sort of fan shaped. I'm going to do the same thing on this end. Alright, and good, and we will scale that into it. Beautiful. There we go. That's something. Something happened. Alright, so there you go. We got that. It's not really that great. And I can kind of do the same thing here, but I'm not going to worry too much about it right at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and insert edge loops in between each one of these again. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and grab this and we'll hit V for soft select, turn that off a little bit, just make it a little bit wider to begin with. Alright, and I'm using my insert edge loop and I'm put it halfway in between each one of these, just so that like I can scale it a little bit thinner here, and then also grab this one and just pull it down just a touch, like so. And same thing here. And we will pull that down just, oops, not the whole thing, just this piece, just a touch, nothing too crazy, just to help round that out. And as a whole, I'll just skinny it up a touch, like so. And this one, let's go ahead and scale that flattish. And the end here, actually, a little bit differently. I'm going to take it and I'm going to rotate it and pull it up. Okay, and then we'll unselect this piece. I'm going to pull this up a little bit more and rotate it a touch more. And pull it up just a touch more, and we'll scale it a little bit thinner. So I get more of a kind of a finger indent there. Okay. Now, I would suggest spending more time than I am on it, but it's just because you're going to use the same finger over and over again, so you might as well not do an absolutely terrible job, such as I am. Okay, that's a finger. We're going to call that good enough. All right, now what I'm going to do is duplicate to make the other one. So Control D, W, and I'm going to pull it over, and I'm going to put wireframe on shaded again, so I can kind of see what I'm doing. And again, I want to put it pretty tight like I have before. Actually, I'm going to delete that. Take this one. I'm going to hold D and V. So D for move pivot and V for point snap. And I'm just going to drag it on this axis. So basically the pivot's in the center. Just makes it a little bit easier because we're going to scale these in a second. So Control D, W, move it over. And Control D, W, move it over this way. I'm going to take this one. And I'm going to scale it a little bit down. I'm going to consider this my index, okay? Alright, I'll pull it a little bit closer. Take this one, and I'll scale it a little bit more than the other one. I'll consider this one my ring, okay? And then I'm going to duplicate again, Control D, W, and we'll pull this over here. And I'll scale it even more to make my pinky. Alright. Oops. Okay. And I'm going to take one more, Control D, W, and I'm going to use that to make my thumb later on. And I'll just kind of pull this up and over. Oops. Pull this up and over so I can deal with it later. Alright. So we got that kind of going on. Now, if you look at your hand and you look at it in front of your whatever, you're going to notice that it's got a slight, what we call a cupped thing going on. So I'm going to take this and this one and push them up a little bit. Alright. Not like crazy amounts. Take this one and push it up a touch more. Like so. I'll take this and I'm just going to rotate it very slightly. Take this one, rotate it very slightly, and take this one and rotate it very slightly more. Okay. So basically you end up having a very slight kind of roundness. Okay. Nothing too nuts. Alright. Now I need to connect all these puppies. Select them all together. I'm going to hit Mesh Combine. I can push this or you go Mesh Combine. Now that they're connected, I need to actually connect them. Okay. And I'm looking, and this pinky is a little bit off. So I'm going to go to Faces. I'm going to double click W and move it over. All right. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Edges, here to here, and here to here. Grab those ones, and I'm going to hit Bridge. And boom, it's going to create faces right there. And I'm going to do that between each set. Boom, 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 G. And boom, boom. Boom, boom, and G. Beauteous. Lots and lots of fingers. That is so nice. Now, whenever you combine an object, what it's actually doing is it's getting rid of the old objects that were there and creating a new one, which means that it's automatically put at origin, which is sort of annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go Modify, Center Pivot, centers the pivot. Then I'm going to go D and V, and put it this side. There you go. Okay. I'm going to go to here. And I'm going to go to Faces. I'm going to hold, I'm going to hold Tab and paint this and delete those. Okay. Take these and I'm going to bring these over roughly to that and try to get them to be scaled, which I actually did an amazing job making it almost correct. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty awesome. Hooray for me. Okay, now there are going to be some issues with this not being like exactly right, because there's more geometry here than what's here, right? So if I go to edges and I double click, I have 26, and if I go to this one, I have 8. Slightly off, okay? It's not exactly the same amount. So I need to do some things in order to alleviate that, if you will. So before I even go to try and put that on there, I'm going to try and do some things in order to clean it up a touch and make it a bit easier. I'm going to go to edge, I'm going to double click this edge loop, and I'm going to go ahead and Control E to extrude, and I'll hit W immediately after and move it forward, okay? And I will scale it just ever so slightly, just so that we have that to work with. Okay, now what I'm going to do is do this. I'm going to take this one, and we are going to collapse it. So that's this right here, which is collapse. Or if you go to Mesh Tools, where are you? Maybe it's under Edit Mesh. Collapse. Boom. And what's going to do is going to take that edge and collapse it into one, like so. I'm going to go all the way around. Basically, we're between each finger here. So G and G. I'm going to do the underside too. We're always going to do things on the top and the bottom each time. Boom. Now you'd be like, wait a minute. There's a try there. Very easy fix. Go to my multi-cut tool. I'm going to click here and hold Control. And boom. It's not a try anymore. See, it's a quad. Same thing here. Boom. And same thing here. Boom. Alright, Q. Now, you see, I'm down to 20. I just got rid of 6. Right off the bat. Very easy. Very nice. Looks great. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save this, actually, while we're doing such a fantastic job here. Okay. There's some of it. Now I need to still, obviously, get rid of some more geometry. So I have a lot more geometry here and a lot less up there. So to do that, we are going to have to think of some things to do. So let's do this. That was the first thing to do. So I got 20 into 8. All right. Right off the bat, let's just make some really obvious changes here. So I'm going to go to my multi-cut tool. I'm going to click here. Actually, undo that. I'm going to go ahead and insert an edge loop here, just so that I have something to work with. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click here, and here, here, and here, right? And I'll hit enter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, and here, enter, and here, and here, enter. Do the same thing on the other end. Boom, 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 enter, boom, boom, enter, and boom, boom, enter. Okay. So you can see what I did is basically I created another edge loop and I looped it around and into this area. Okay. But you can see it made all quads. So now if I double click, I now have 12 to this one's 20. Okay. Getting closer. It was 26 and 8, so still need to do better than that, obviously. So we will continue thinking about how best to go about this. Here's the thing. I can actually increase this even more. It's just a matter of like how far I want to go. So you always run into an issue where you're going to have more going into less. There's just no way around it. So I guess we'll just go with it. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to click on, oops, okay. I'm going to hold Control, and boom. You can see because it's going to create an edge loop all the way around. And I'll hold Control, and boom. Q, and let's see what we got now. Now I have 16 to 20. So now I'm missing 4. All right. So I need 4, which means basically if I were to add another loop, that would add, I'm not going to add another loop anyway, but so I'm going to grab this, and let's see if we can use that slide edge tool. And oops, that was not the slide edge tool, and that is not either. It's this, and slide edge. And I'm just going to kind of contract that a little bit. Basically, I'm just going to try and move these so that it's a little more spread out right now, because if you look, it's kind of not that great. So you might